Seeds of Wisdom RV and Economics Updates Sunday afternoon, the 2nd of November 25. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Good afternoon. Dinar recaps, diplomacy, currency and metals. The quiet shifts redrawing global finance. How gold, the yuan, and resource diplomacy are shaping a post-dollar order. Overview. Recent developments across diplomacy, metals, and currency markets show a quiet but accelerating restructuring of global finance. What once appeared as isolated moves, trade deals, currency discussions, and commodity market swings, now converge into a larger framework of strategic financial realignment. Gold and the Federal Reserve signal. Gold prices slipped about 0.4% after the U.S. Federal Reserve adopted a cautious tone on rate cuts, which strengthened the dollar. Despite the short-term pullback, central banks remain net buyers of gold, underscoring its role as a hedge against monetary instability. Gold's behavior continues to act as a barometer of structural transition, signaling investor hedging ahead of potential monetary resets rather than mere cyclical policy shifts. BRICS currency and the rise of a multipolar payment system. The BRICS bloc is intensifying discussions on creating a joint payment and settlement system to reduce reliance on the US dollar. This effort complements the broader de-dollarization trend observed across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Analysts suggest such a system could eventually function as a parallel settlement layer backed by commodities or digital assets, a key stepping stone toward a new reserve architecture. China's yuan-based diplomacy. Russian businessman Oleg Deripaska emphasized that China's vision for a multipolar world order depends on establishing a yuan-based settlement framework. This positions the yuan not just as a national currency, but as the anchor of a regional financial system aligned with trade corridors like the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. The yuan's role in energy, commodities, and strategic infrastructure reflects Beijing's push to pair diplomacy with monetary design, a direct counterpart to the dollar's post-World War II system. Resource diplomacy. The metals dimension. The US-Australia Critical Minerals Agreement illustrates how diplomatic ties are now inseparable from resource and monetary strategy. Securing rare earths and battery metals forms part of the West's response to Chinese resource dominance, effectively a financial defense mechanism. By controlling upstream materials, nations also control currency stability, trade leverage, and supply chain financing, extending diplomacy into financial architecture. Why it matters. Metals are now monetary assets again. Gold, rare earths, and critical minerals underpin not just trade but sovereign financial independence. Currency and diplomacy are merging. The yuan's expansion, BRICS discussions, and Western resource alliances show finance being rebuilt around political blocs. A dual financial architecture is emerging. One dollar-centric, the other regionalized and resource-backed, together forming the next phase of Bretton Woods 2.0. These trends are not isolated policy events but coordinated responses to the same structural force, the global realignment of trade, energy, and settlement systems. Outlook. Watch for formal announcements on the BRICS payment platform or gold-yuan linkages. Central bank gold reserves. If accumulation accelerates, it signals growing confidence in a non-dollar system. Strategic mineral treaties. Each deal effectively extends a new financial frontier beyond the traditional banking network. Yuan and commodity settlement volumes. The metric that may define who controls the liquidity language of the next decade. This is not just politics, it's global finance restructuring before our eyes. BRICS unbroken. Why allegations of a split miss the point of the global finance shift? The allegations of member exit are a distraction. The real story is a deeper financial and geopolitical restructuring underway. The claim that one or more members of BRICS are leaving the bloc is unfounded. What's occurring instead is the reinforcement of collective financial and trade mechanisms that challenge Western-centric systems. Small diamond. What the source says. Maria Zakharova, spokesperson for Russia's foreign ministry, stated that no BRICS member has formally notified the bloc of any intention to leave, despite US tariff pressure. Rather than splitting, the bloc is reportedly being pushed closer together by external pressure. tariffs are pushing the BRICS countries not to leave the association, but to expand trade, economic, and financial cooperation and develop mechanisms for practical cooperation that are resistant to external risks. BRICS continues its enlargement and institutionalization. The group has expanded membership, created partner country status, and developed financial institutions. Small diamond: how this fits with the global financial and alliance restructuring. Alliance architecture rewriting. This isn't a story of collapse but of transformation. Without public exits, the BRICS model transitions like this, moving from loose cooperation toward coordinated financial and trade infrastructure, e.g., alternative settlements, multi-currency arrangements. Financial system reset in motion. The strength of the alliance under pressure signals that new financial networks, clearing, settlement, trade financing, are being constructed specifically to withstand Western-led tariffs and sanctions. That means the architecture of global finance is being layered, not just modified. U.S. strategic dimension. As you track from your lens, these developments underscore why U.S. trade deals, diplomacy and regulatory influence matter so much. The alternative networks being built by BRICS and its partners could bypass much of the US-dominated system. Narrative and perception. The skeptical narrative of members leaving is itself significant. It shows how much the US and Western media treat BRICS as a threat. BRICS's ability to deflect the narrative and show cohesion strengthens its position in the global reset. Small diamond: why it matters. For global investors and policymakers, if BRICS holds together while developing independent finance, trade rails, capital flows, asset allocation decisions and currency exposure must evolve accordingly. For the US, this is not just competition in trade. This is competition over financial infrastructure. Who owns the rails, who sets the rules, who controls settlement and value movements. Every trade deal, tariff threat or regulatory policy becomes part of that broader architecture. For system stability, multipolar finance means risk is redistributed. The old, West versus the rest, model is morphing into a multi-node network where disruptions in one node, e.g., sanctions, export bans, compel others to pick up slack or build alternatives. Resilience is being baked into the system via redundancy. For the global reset, when alliances like BRICS show resilience under pressure, it accelerates the move from a unipolar, dollar-centric system toward a multipolar network of trade finance hubs. Which means your tagline holds true. This is not just politics, it's global finance restructuring before our eyes. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com